What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Unleashed. Today, let's get started with Derek Moneyberg still planning on suing Sean Strickland. For those of you that keep up with the channel, you'll remember that we recently reported a situation between Sean Strickland and Derek Moneyberg. And before we continue, make sure you leave a like on the video to help support the channel. For those of you that don't remember, Sean Strickland confronted Moneyberg for allegedly scamming fighters. Since then, Moneyberg has talked about suing Strickland on Instagram. Well, yesterday Derek Moneyberg appeared on the Ariel Helwani show, where he talked about the situation. It seems like he has an issue with me. I've been nothing but a gentleman to him. Seems like he has issue with me. And he said a lot of nasty things that are false. Like what? Like what is he accusing you of that is bothering you? You could look on the internet and see the things that he said. And I don't want to misquote him here, but no, he said a lot of things about my character, about my business that aren't true, that are there outside of the black belt. Sean Strickland, he's allowed to have whatever opinion he might want to have about my black belt. He has a black belt. He's a world champion fighter. He said, you know, it'd be hard not to argue that he's a subject matter expert at fighting. He could have whatever opinion that he wants to. When he says things about my business or about me personally that are derogatory, you know, that goes beyond the realm of a fair opinion. And, you know, he's just being malicious at that point. Because of those comments that Sean Strickland has made, Moneyberg has now confirmed that he will be suing him. I'm not going to discuss the whole thing, but he has a pending legal case. Are you ending? I am suing him for defamation. I'll let my attorneys deal with that. But I do. It looks like I'm going to have to sue him because of the things he said. He said a lot of very nasty things that are true, that are false. Wait, did Moneyberg just say he said a lot of nasty things that are true? Oh man, this guy cannot catch a break. He said a lot of very nasty things that are true, that are false, and that hurt my reputation and hurt my brand. If he says yes to the match, does the case get dropped or the lawsuit get dropped? Those are two separate things. Okay, so that has to be settled first, the lawsuit and then the match. So I feel like we're not going to see the match. I was kind of excited about it, to be honest. I asked him to his face before this if he'd like to do the match. And, then he continued to say more false things and repeat lies and create new lies. And I wish it wasn't that way, okay? I respect him. I think he's a very talented fighter. And, I have very good relationship with many other people around him. I don't know why he made that decision, but that's the decision he's made. For those of you confused about this match Moneyberg is talking about, apparently Sean Strickland called them a fake black belt. Because of those comments, Moneyberg is open to fight with Strickland, but he wants to settle the legal stuff first. As for the fake black belt comments, Moneyberg responded by saying, I don't think ever in the history of jiu-jitsu has someone received a black belt with not any sort of competition on their resume. To the best of my knowledge, you've never competed in a Mundial or an ADCC, right? BJ got his black belt after winning the Mundials. Hamza Chamay got his black belt after winning the UFC title. Have you competed against anyone to earn this black belt? I got my kick by for 2 years by a bunch of UFC champions and top behind closed doors though, right? No one's able to see this, I understand. But you still got a black belt, which is the highest honor possible in jiu-jitsu in 3.5 years. What if it would have taken you 20 years? People have been like, all right, that makes sense. 3.5 years as a mid-40-year-old with fighters who, sometimes their decision making is called into question. You can certainly understand Alex Pereira injury revealed by Mauricio Hufi. After Alex's first fight with Margot Khalif, fans were convinced that he went into the fight with an illness or injury. At the time, the specific injury was never disclosed. Fans speculated that it was something to do with his leg, and they were right. During a recent interview with Ed Fiana, Mauricio Hufi revealed that Alex went into that first fight with a cracked shin and could barely walk. He said, now that everything's over, I can say it. He was fighting with a cracked shin in the first fight. His shin was so injured, he could barely walk. He lost, but he still went out there and fought. Then he came out in the rematch and showed his level. This is a little weird considering that Alex threw 55 leg kicks in their first fight, with 48 of them landing. And out of his 78 significant strikes in their fight, 48 of them were leg kicks, which is why fans thought his injury was upper body related. But since then, Alex came out and said that not only was he dealing with an injury, but also an illness, which left him 40% for their first fight. We all know how the rematch ended. So it is completely possible that his shin being cracked on top of the illness did in fact limit his movement. In the rematch, he came out ready to fire off the starting bell. So it looks like the shin healed up as planned. Cheto Vera breaks silence on UFC Vancouver loss. After Cheto's split decision loss to Amon's Ahab this past weekend, he revealed that he was angry after the fight. According to Cheeto, he exited the arena just 90 seconds after leaving the octagon, demanding an x-ray on his finger from the UFC doctors and going straight to his hotel, still in his UFC outfit with no shirt or shoes on. After rewatching the fight, Cheeto thinks that Zahabi was better than he thought, but he still feels like he won the fight, regardless of the judge's decision. Vera believes that his momentum after the fight feels like a win, and he's trying to have a positive outlook on the situation. But watching it yesterday, it was better than I thought. Perhaps I don't have the momentum in the outside, in the bigger financial, more sponsors, more loot to me, because that's what a win will bring. But at least mentally and spiritually, the momentum went like a win. So it's positive going forward. So after Zahabi beat Cheeto, he called out Sean Ali. According to Vera, the fight between Zahabi and Umar won't happen because of rankings. He thinks that Sean will want someone higher up like Corey Sanhagen, and he thinks that's the fight to make right now. I mean, Sean definitely hits harder. I don't know if Zahav will wrestle him or clinch, and he doesn't really clinch wrestle much. Yeah, I mean, probably good fight. I don't think will happen. I think Sho might want someone higher in the rankings like a Corey Sanhagen. I mean, that's the perfect time to do it. Yeah, two tallest guy fighting for who's the tallest. Yeah, that would be a fun fight. Way bigger fight than Sahab, but you never know with the UFC. You get the chance, take it. Merab Diwali staying in division for 3 to 4 fights before moving up. After Morab's dominant victory over Corey Sanhagen, talks about him moving up to 145 began to circulate. However, Merab being the dominant beast, he has decided to take a fight with Peter Yan in December. Well, it looks like the talks of him moving up did not stop. We had people like Michael Bisping coming out and wanting a super fight between Merab and Alexander Volkanovski. Well, Merab's coach, John Wood, was recently interviewed by MMA Fighting. During the interview, John Wood talked about Merab potentially moving up to 145 pounds. He basically said that we could see Merab fight 3 to 4 times more at 135 before moving up. Making weight sucks. Merab is clearly not a fan of that. And that's the worst part. He's still got to make weight if he goes up to 145 pounds. But there are some potential massive super fights if things keep going the way they go. I think at 2 to 3 more fights, we may be starting to have those conversations. I think we've got an easy 3 to 4 more fights, hopefully in the bantamweight division before that has to happen. Would you be interested in seeing Merab fight Vog? Let us know in the comments below. Max Holloway shuts down fighting in BKFC after UFC. During his most recent stream on Kick, a fan asked Max Holloway if he'd be interested in fighting in BKFC after he retires from the UFC. Max responded saying that he'd never fight in bare knuckle and that it's the most stupidest thing in the world. This comes as a surprise to most of us, as Max is known for his striking and famously throws down in the last 10 seconds of his fights. So, him shutting down an opportunity to show off his striking with no gloves is actually quite surprising. In the same statement, Holloway also shut down the idea of him ever competing in power slap, calling those people crazy. Here's what Max had to say. I ain't never going to do bare knuckle fight. That's the most stupidest thing ever in the world. When I'm retired, bro. Maybe do a boxing match, but not a bare knuckle. Bro, that's ridiculous. People would do that as next level. People who do slap bare knuckle. Bro, you guys are crazy, bro. You guys are actually crazy, bro. Like, the slap one is so nuts. It's like, why would I want to just stay there and just be like, yeah, you're gonna slap me, I slap you. That's crazy, cause that's actually crazy. You know what I mean? Considering that BKFC is known for paying out a good amount to have former UFC fighters compete, the option for Max to fight in BKFC isn't completely off the table. One good offer, and we could see him competing there in the next few years, especially if it was against a favorable opponent like Conor McGregor himself. What do you think? Should Max Holloway fight in BKFC after he retires from the UFC, or do you want to see him ride off into the sunset and maybe just do a boxing match or 2? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Mackenzie Dern admits to not being ready for Zhang Li. This Saturday, Mackenzie Dern will be fighting Vera for the vacated women's strawweight title. For those of you who don't remember, Zhang Li vacated that belt. While it looks like Mackenzie Dern is admitting that if Wei was still champion, she was not ready for that fight. During an interview with MMA Fighting, this is what she had to say. I definitely think that if Wei was champion right now, of our division. And I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say no to a title shot, but I don't think I'd be ready to fight Wei right now at this moment in my career, you know what I mean? But I do think that if I do win the belt and then whatever, if we were to fight like at the White House or something in June, I feel like I'd be way more ready and prepared to fight her. I know it's like, okay, it's just like what, like 6 months or 8 months difference. How much better do you think you're going to get in 8 months? But I think just winning the title, there's a confidence part that you get from that, and it's just more training and more time. She was just so dominant in the strawweight division. It'll be interesting to see how Mackenzie Dern performs against Vera this weekend. As for you guys, who do you see winning the vacated belt? Mario Bautista wants to make a statement with Umar Numed fight. This Saturday, we'll see Mario Bautista fight Umar at UFC 321. By the way, guys, the main card starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, considering the card is in Abu Dhabi. During the first episode of UFC Embedded, Bautista talked about wanting to finish Umar in their fight and that he wants to make a statement. He said the following: I'm going to go out there and try to finish him in the first round. I think that's the best case scenario. Get that done and get to go home with some money and eat some good food. Can't wait to go out there and get the job done. So, Umar, I'll see you over there, brother. Some of the MMA community wasn't a fan of what Bautista had to say, and they think it's going to be the same as his other fights. Mario, Bautista, and finish don't go in the same sentence. Wishing I was as confident as Bautista saying he'll finish a Nurmagomedov off in the first round was getting his haircut in the UFC, embedded finishing with clinch and hugs. Dude, this boring fight has tried to sell a narrative of entertained fight when the last time Bautista finished off someone was to an Argentine day laborer in 2023. What a great plan. Problem is that Umar will have something against it and not let it happen. I used to hate Mario. I still do, but I'm praying he flatlines Umar. As for Saturday's fight, what are your predictions for Mario Bautista versus Umar Magomedov? Henry Sejudo reacts to Peyton Talbot fight. Some observers were caught off guard when it was announced that Henry Sejudo will battle Peyton Talbot and what could be the former champ's final fight. But it sounds like Sejudo isn't worked up about the fact he's booked to fight someone not ranked in the top 15. Sejudo has been signaling that his next fight will likely be his last and that he'll be hanging up the gloves. Yes, again. As a result, there was speculation as to whether the UFC would book him to fight another aging contender or legend. Instead, the 38-year-old Sejudo will throw hands with the 27-year-old Talbot at UFC 323 December 6th. However, during a recent episode of the Pound for Pound show, Sejudo outlined why he's just fine with the matchup. Here was some of what he had to say. The old generation versus the new. I'm fighting somebody that I guess you could say that I know. Somebody that's come out to learn from me. I'm fighting Peyton Talbot. It's definitely a contrast of bodies and styles. Peyton is a zombie. He'll come at you. He's based on pressure. I'm fighting a new school guy, the former bantamweight and flyweight champ added. I'm fighting the guy that the UFC wants to push. This is a good fight. I think Peyton is a really good fighter. I said this in the beginning. He did lose to Honey Barcelos, but he did come back that next fight. He was able to get that W. He looked really good. He's a dangerous cat. We all know he's dangerous, but there's a lot of things, experience, tactics that changes everything. It is worth noting that during the podcast, Sejudo reportedly acknowledged he could change his mind about retiring. So, if he scores an impressive win, could we see the decorated fighter one more time? Israel Adesanya major backlash for footage. Last night, Israel Adesanya posted a video to his Instagram story attempting to make a joke about Charlie Kirk, but the video ended up backfiring and causing major backlash for Izzy. In the video, Adesanya asked if he wanted to hear a black joke, then pours himself a shot of alcohol and calls it the Kirk shot because the shot glass he's drinking out of has a bullet encased in the middle of it. Want to hear a black joke? Okay, that is the name God's people. Alright, black joke. I call this the Kirk shot. You know why? Cause it's black. There's something there. There's this. Just figure it out. There's a joke in there somewhere. You can do it. Figure it out. Flay du Chappelle. I don't know. Oprah. Figure it out. Figure it out. Now, I'm sure most of you are wondering if it's the Kirk shot. What does that have to do with it being a black joke? We aren't sure either, but this caused the MMA community to backlash against Izzy, with fans calling him out for becoming cringier as he ages. Here's what they had to say. This is the same who was up till 1 in the morning arguing on X the day before his fight with Strickland that he was not doing nasty dog with fans. Disgusting individual. Izzy so wrong for that. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Izzy. Have been since his debut and will be after he retires. But this isn't something that should just be pushed to the side. What if Charlie Kirk's children or wife see this? Too soon. Too soon, Izzy. The CTE from Umar is starting to come through. He might never fight in USA. They might not give him a visa. If you're going to try and be hip and edgy at 40 years old, at least make a better joke. Never thought he would go so low to mock victim. It's very cringe. Soon, Izzy's going to be drunk at a bar watching Alex fight saying how he beat him one. LOL. However, not all fans were bashing his. Some defended him, saying it's dark humor. But what do you guys think about the situation? Do you think Izzy went too far? Let us know in the comments below. Back to